Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining the call today. Today's topic will be on functions, and just so that for those who missed yesterday's session and for those who did not get the redeem code for yesterday, I'm just publishing it on the QA box. This is for yesterday's session, the redeem code. Yeah, and as usual, like I said, please go and redeem it. It may take time for you to get your certificates. And again, thank you for your overwhelming feedback yesterday. We hope that you will continue to give us the feedback so that we can improve our sessions. So Sudhi, can you go ahead and start the session, please, without any further delay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for the introduction. And thank you for all the teachers for giving us continuous feedback and liking all the sessions we are conducting. So in today's session, we are going to learn about functions. So first, let's quickly recap whatever we learned yesterday. So in the last class, we learned about the loops in detail. We saw how we can use different loops like like for, while, and repeat loop, and we can code different models in our platforms like MakeCode, Microbit, and Minecraft. So you all were introduced to Minecraft also yesterday, and we saw how we can use our coding ideas and programs to make different and completely attractive games and models for our students. So today again we are going to use MakeCode's Microbit and Minecraft to learn about functions. So let's get started. Okay, functions are some code snippets in your programs that you can use to avoid repetitive, and you can just define a function once in the program and you can use it n number of times in the followed program. So what basically is a function? See, function from your daily life is just like, going for a walk when it is sunrise or switching on the bulb. So the function of switching on the bulb is once you click on the button or the switch, the bulb should glow. That means the function of the bulb is to glow whenever the switch is on or off. So when I'm keeping my switch on, it should glow. When I'm keeping it off, it should switch off. So this is the function of the bulb. Now, every time the switch is clicked, the same function is performed by the bulb. In the same way, if you have a daily routine of going for a morning walk, you're going to follow that routine every day when it is sunrise. So my function is whenever it is sunrise, I should start going for the walk. That means a function is something, it is a block of code that you can use or you want your computer to repeat a lot of time, and so that you do not write the code again and again. So if I'm switching on the bulb and I'm using that function again and again, I can write the function, I can write the code behind that particular task once, and I can simply call that function again and again. So for example, as I told you about switching on the bulb, I may not daily go or every time go and put on the switches and do all the mechanical stuff there. I'll just click on the button to lit the light, right? So this is the purpose of a function. That means you can write it one time and you can use it for the further use. So you can use it any number of times in your program. So function is a block of code made up of set of steps that result in a single specific action. That means a function defined for a purpose will always follow that same purpose and will complete that same task. Okay, so the reason why we create function is to execute a specific task. It can only perform a single function. So if I make a function for a particular thing, only that particular thing can be done using the function that I defined. So we can say it in simple words. It is a chunk of code that you can use over and over again rather than writing it out multiple times. Functions enable programmers to break down or decompose a problem into smaller chunks, each of which performs a particular task. So you have to keep this in mind that if you're writing a function, it should only perform a specific task. A function cannot be made to do multiple tasks altogether. So let's understand this by an example. If I want to draw a square, my instruction would be move forward and then turn right by 90 degrees. Similarly, I'll just give that command again and again. That is moving forward and turning right by 90 degrees. So this command has to be followed for 4 times to make a particular square. Now, if I want to make 10 squares on the screen, what I have to do, I'll have to write the same thing 10 times. Instead of that, the easiest way of doing this particular task is to make a function for this drawing a square. So I can write function draw, and inside which I can write my logic. The logic to make a square is move forward, turn right by 90 degrees, and write it for 4 times. Again, you have used the concepts of loops. So maybe you can write here repeat 4 times, and it will repeat the same code again and again for 4 times. And if I want to draw square for 10 times, I can simply use the keyword, simply use the function name, that is draw square. So what is the use of a function? It's just that you're first defining a function with a name, putting out the logic inside that particular function, and then you're then calling the function so that you can use it in your program. So let's see the syntax of writing a function. So whenever you're defining any function, the syntax is you have to first write the function keyword. That means the function itself. You write function, then my function. What is my function? The function name. So here in the last slide, we saw the function name is draw square. So we are writing over here function draw square. So draw square is the name of the function, and the function is the keyword that I'm using, so that I can specify in my codes that I'm using function as the code here. Next is the parenthesis. Always, whenever we are writing a function, it should be followed by the parenthesis. Parenthesis means the round brackets that you have in your keyboard. And then comes the curly brackets within which you'll write your logic. So logic can be anything. For example, if I want to draw the square, I'll write here function draw square. Inside the curly bracket, I'll write this logic. That means moving forward, turning right or left, or any direction or whatever you wanted to draw. OK, so this was about the functions. A little basic of a function, that is, it is a code block. It is a code snippet from your program that you use to write the code again and again, so that you can avoid writing the code again and again, and you can use it multiple times in your program. So this is the basic knowledge about the functions. Now let's see some activities so that we can understand this functions in detail. Again, we are going to MakeCode platform. I hope now by this day you are all aware of the MakeCode and you have explored this platform with me. So we have Arcade, Microbit, and Minecraft. We'll be using Microbit again to see some of the functioning of how we use a function, how do we make any project using functions. So let's start with Microbit. I'll make a new project naming functions and we'll create. Once I'm done, I'll get the screen over here. Now, I don't need these blocks, so I'll just drag them back. If I ever need it, I can even use it from the search box and use it there. Now, as we are making a function, let's understand how is the definition of the function, like how do we define a function. So our first task over here is to understand the function definition. Definition means how
Sudhi,
you're writing a function.
Sudhi, just
Yeah.
pausing. I hope everybody can hear, right? Because I see one or two messages that people are unable to hear. Uh, just if any one person or two people, can you please just respond if it's audible? Yeah, please proceed.
Okay, sir. So let's first understand the function definition. So we'll go to advanced, and then here you will see the option called functions. So simply click on functions and make a function. Since you're making a function do not have any predefined code actually. You are going to make your function on your own. So what is the process of making a function? You'll get the function keyword. To do something, we'll write the name of the function that we are creating. So here, suppose we are creating a function called recursive. So we'll write here recursive. And I need some numbers over here. So what is recursive? Actually, I'm making a function in which if I put a number, it will give me the recursive values of that number. For example, if I write here 10, it will print all the numbers starting from 10 to 0. That means 10, 9, 8, 7 like this. So it will start with a value and it will go on till some end value. So this is what the function I'm going to make. And you can be as creative as you can. You can make some more functions. You can make any function of your choice. So to make this particular function, I need some parameters. Parameters are the values that you use for your function to manipulate its behavior. So what basically is a parameter? Parameter is a value. Suppose I want some numbers in my function so that I can give the recursive value of those numbers. So here num or any number is a parameter to the function. So just take it as a value that you're putting for the function itself. And then click on done. You'll see a function appearing on the screen over here. Okay, now next is how do we write the function? So I have to now write the logic of my function. So to write the logic, first of all, we'll show the number with which we are starting our values. So suppose I'm starting with number 10 and I do not need to, use that number again and again. I do not need to show that number here. So what I'll be doing is I'll just go to the basics and take show number and put it over here inside my function. So first, this function, this recursive function will show me the number that I entered. Okay, so suppose I entered 10, it will show me 10 on the screen. So I'll take this num, put it over here. Again, this num is a value, that means it works as a variable for me. Okay, it will work as a variable so that I can store any value inside it. Then we have to write a logic. Now my logic is using if conditional statements. I'll say if my number, that means the number that I'm entering, is greater than 0, only then the function should follow the routine. Okay, that means if I write here 10, 5, 8, 20, any number, only then it can reduce the values till 0, right? But if it is less than 0 or it is 0, it can't do that particular function that I'm asking it to do. So for that, we have to write the condition so that my function can make a decision. Okay, so here we are writing if my number is greater than 0. So how to write it? Again, go to the logic and take a greater than sign. So we'll just take this particular block from the logics and change it into greater than sign. And here what I'm going to write, my num, that means the number that I'm entering should be greater than 0. Only then the function can perform its task. Yeah, so I hope that you get the logic behind the function that we are making. And what we are going to do now, we'll call the recursive. What is recursive? Just go to the functions and take call recursive, and our task is to deduct it by -1, right? Deduct the number by -1. So you have to, like, if it is 10, it should go till 9, 8, 7, like this. So it should reduce my numbers by 1 each time. So I'm doing what? Num -1. That means my number -1 each time. Okay. So how to write it again? Go to math, take a minus block, put it over here, take your num and write here -1. That means only simply you can write 1 since you already have the operator over here in the middle. So I hope that this definition of the function is clear. I'll go on once again. First, we are defining the function by using the keyword function and writing the name of the function. I chose recursive so that I can be more specific to that particular function that I'm making. So the name of the function should have some convention. You should follow some conventions while you're writing the function name. Then comes show number. So whatever number I'm choosing or I'm entering should be shown first on the screen. Then we are putting the if statement. Why is if statement written over here? So that my function can make a decision only if the number is greater than 0. Because by the function itself, by whatever task we are making it to do, it shouldn't be 0 or less than 0. So if it is less than 0 or 0, it cannot reduce the values and it won't be able to show us that particular value. So this is the function that I am making. Okay. And then we are calling the function. So here, this is the process of calling the function. How do you call the function? You just write the function name. Since in block code, we use it in simple English terms, we are writing over here, call recursive. And this is the way of calling the function. So simply use the function name, call it n number of times. Then we want that this particular function should start working once the screen, once the game starts or once I start the simulator. So I'll just take on start block. And I'm going to call my recursive function once again. Okay, so how do I call the recursive function again? Go to the functions and call recursive. Now in call recursive, I can put any parameter. See, if it is 1, it is showing me 1 and 0. Can you see here? 1 and 0. If I put any other number, suppose I put here 6, it will start with 6. So if I put over here 20, it will start with 20. That means I can call my function any times, like n number of times I can actually call my function in a same program. So this was the basic of a function definition. How do we use a function over here? And let's now move ahead and make another application so that we understand the functions in little more detail. Let's write over here again. Let's make another project. Okay. Now again, if the teachers are following up with me, you may also write it on the chat box or in the Q&A session if you're not understanding any of the concept over here. So let's start. Maybe with me, you can also answer the questions in the chat box. So how do we define a function? Again, let's make a function which can show some animations on the screen. Okay, so to do this, the first task, maybe you can answer in the chat as well, is to write the function keyword, correct? Writing the function keyword and then writing the name of the function. Name of the function depends on your imagination. You can write anything. So let's write here, show animations. And I want a number. So I'll just take a number parameter. You can add a text, a boolean, an array, LED sprite, or an image as well. All these things you can add in your parameter. So parameter is basically a value. Just keep this in mind. So we are taking a number and we'll show some animations from the microbit. Okay, so I created my function. Now let's define the function's logic. So my logic is I'll show some animations over here. I'll maybe use some loops and all to, to display LEDs on the screen, and accordingly we'll change it with our functions or logic. So first, let's take a loop. Let's try this time a repeat loop, and we'll repeat it for maybe 2 times. And let's show some of the LEDs. So what I'll do is I'll go to basic and I'll take an LED from here. Now from LED or from icon or from string, you can select anything of your choice. So we'll take LEDs over here and we can make an LED. So we can make an LED of our choice. We can show the lights of our choice over here. So maybe I'll just select some items. And then we'll select one more just to show that animation, just to make it beautiful. So now here you can be as creative as you want. There is no limitation while being creative. So we'll select an LED and here I created the animation that I wanted. Next is to understand the return value. Now in functions, if I want to return these values, that means if I want to return this particular number or something, I'll have to return my value. So I kept over here num. That means after showing these LEDs, after showing this repetition of the LEDs, I want a number to appear on my screen. So how will I make it return on the screen? For that, we'll understand the return of a function. Before that, let's first pick a number so that we can return that. What is picking a number? Picking a number means selecting a number so that we can return it on the screen. Now what is returning again? Showing something on the screen or getting a value. Okay, after you complete your function. So let's take an onStart block again. So yeah, we have onStart over here and we'll show a number. And after the animation, just after the animation, we have to show the number, right? So first we have to call show animation. Now calling show animation means we are calling our functions. So go to the function and take call animation. And then we are going to pick a random number. So let's pick a random number from math. And it can be from any number. So I may be giving here 5 to 10. We can show it from here. Okay. And then we are going to give the return. So let's now search for the return of a function. Return and take this num, go down. I'll have to scroll it and put the number over here. That means I'm returning the num value. Now if I run it, you'll see the function of this particular animation on start. So I'll just run it. When I start the particular drawing, it will show me this animation and you'll see a number as well. Look at this. You'll see 0, then the square, then the I, and then X. So it is selecting any random number and we are getting a return type of it. Next is if you're clear with the functions, let's start doing some activities on Minecraft. So in Minecraft, first let me know in the chat box uh, if there is any doubt regarding Minecraft so that I will explain the platform once again, and then we are going to move ahead with the activity. Okay, so let's start. So in Minecraft, you first log in and then click on maybe on view my worlds or create new. I'm going to create a new world and I'll select one template from the world itself. So inside Minecraft, you'll get all these templates. You can select any one of them. So I'll use block of grass so that I get a block, a grassland where I can create anything of my choice, and I'll create a new project. Go to survival mode as I told you yesterday, and then click on play. So again, Minecraft is a 3D world wherein you can create interesting models, games, architecture, and you can do anything for that matter and understand the concept. So we'll see how we can learn functions using the Minecraft. Also, I saw many queries about, uh, about X, Y, and Z coordinates yesterday. So I'll first explain you about the coordinates as well. So when you learn about Minecraft or any of the 3D interface or 3D platform, there are three different axes that you'll be seeing. That is X, Y, and Z. What is X? As you can see over here, if you want to move left and right, it is X coordinates. So if you want to go to the left direction, it will be the negative X direction. Or negative X coordinates. If you want to go to the right hand side, it will be the positive X coordinates. So suppose on this line, I'm moving to the left hand side, my values will be 0, -1, -2, -3 like this. So if I'm going to the left side, it is negative X. Okay. And if I'm going to the right hand side, it is positive X. That means 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. Similarly, if I talk about y-axis, it is the vertical axis, like you can see over here. What is vertical axis? That means I'm moving top to bottom or bottom to top. So if I'm moving to the from center, if I'm moving to the bottom, it is negative. That means 0, -1, -2 like this. If I'm going to the top from the center position, it is 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. So if I start from somewhere over here and if I want to go down, that means I'm reducing my values. Okay, so if this location is 10 and I move down, it should be 10, 9, 8 like this. Okay, similarly, if I move up and I'm at the position -10 over here, I'll be going up like -10, -9, -8, -7 like this. So I hope that these are very simple things. It should be clear with all of you. Next comes the z-axis. That is an axis that is coming out of the screen. So if you can see like here, it is from the back side to the front side. So if you want to move back and come to the front, it is the z-axis that you're moving. So just to put it simply, it is called a vertical axis only, but you're moving from back side to the front side. Okay. So this was about the 3D Cartesian plane. Now, I hope that the Cartesian plane and the 3D structure is clear. How do we use X, Y, and Z? And today, when we are using these coordinates in our activity, I hope that it will be much more clear to you. So let's start here. What I'll be doing is, yesterday we saw how we can open our code builder so that we can start coding. So I just open the code builder and I'll show you one project that we are going to create today. So I'll first show you how it looks like, and then we are going to start building that step by step. Okay. So today we are going to create a waterfall using the codes and using the functions concept. So I'll click on waterfall. We'll just simply check the command. Okay, so let me first run it and show it to you. I am running the project. I have to open my chat box, and here I'll write the on-chat command. My on-chat command that I gave is build, and then I'm going to run it. Once I click on build, it will build a waterfall on the inside my world. Can you see it over here? The waterfall is building and it's just above me. That means it is at the position of the player. Okay, like you can see, you can even fly high and you can see the waterfall. I'll just change the location. Okay, to fly, you can use double space. You can press double space to fly and continue pressing it so that you can go up. Now just understand the structure of this waterfall. Here you see that there are 4 different lanes of concrete or maybe the wooden blocks or a rock block you can see. And then you see water is, water is falling from this waterfall. Just let's move a little bit this side, the front of the waterfall, and you'll see the falling water as well. Go down and can you see it? This is the falling water and you can see a trail of water over here. So this is a very interesting activity that you're going to create using the functions concept. You can even move inside the waterfall and you can see the water is, you can see all the visuals of a waterfall. Now let's start building it. So first of all, I hope the idea is clear what we are going to make. I'll also show you the codes once. I'll explain you and then we are going to start making it step by step. So we are first defining the function. So we wrote the function name or the keyword and then the function name. My function name is waterfall since I'm creating the waterfall. Next is builder face. Builder face means the model which is creating this particular waterfall. So I can face it anywhere in any direction. So I'm facing it towards the west so that I can start with the west side. Okay, I can start with the west direction. You can use it east, north, south, any direction you can choose. Now, if I say west, that means negative x. Now you understood the coordinate system. West means the left hand side movement. So if it is left hand side, I already told you it is moving in the negative x. Okay. Next is repeating 4 times. I'm using this repeat 4 times so that I can create the trails that we saw above. Okay, let me show you once again. If I go up, you'll see 4 different lanes of water and of the wooden blocks or the rock blocks, you can say in simple terms, right? Just above that. So we saw 4 different wooden blocks or rock blocks over there and 4 water blocks. So I'm repeating it 4 times. And how do I make those lines that you saw? So I'm repeating 19 times to make this particular width, the width of this waterfall. You can even increase it and make it even larger waterfall. And then we are just moving forward by 1 and placing that particular block that we want. And then we are just using few turns to make the lanes one after the other. Similarly for the water, use the same idea and build the waterfall. Now I created the function. I wrote the function keyword. I defined the function name and I wrote the logic inside the function. Okay. Now we have to call the function. Now, how do you call the function? So I'm using onChat command to call my function. So inside onChat command, if I write build, it will start calling the function. Okay. I can simply call waterfall like this also. But I've used some teleport command so that I can be at some specific position in my world and there I can start building this waterfall. So here I've used teleport to and this is the location in the world of the player. Similarly, the builder who is building this particular waterfall, his position should be same to mine. Okay, so that's why I've given the same coordinates to the builder as well. I hope the code is clear. Now let's go back and let's create this project. Okay, so let's write here waterfall and let's get started. So our first task is to write the function. Get a function. You will see it over here in the advanced features. And let's go to the function. Let me make the screen larger so that you can, visualize it properly. Okay, let's make a new function. Now, what is the function name again? Here we are writing waterfall. So we'll write the function name. And now we don't need any parameter. Do I need any parameter, any number, any position, any boolean, any text? No, nothing. So we're just simply using the function and the name of the function. That's all. Okay, so very simple function we are creating. Next is we are facing the builder. Now facing the builder means you are facing the builder in particular direction. You want it to go from that direction only. Okay, so we'll face builder. So we'll in the builder commands, we'll search for the builder face. Okay, so let's search it over here. Okay, builder face west and x, that is x's are negative. If I'm going to the west side, it is x negative. And then I want to repeat the course that I'm doing here. So I'll repeat it 4 times so that I can make 4 lanes. I can repeat it 6 times so that I can make an even wider waterfall. Okay. And then we are going to take another repeat so that I can make a trail of, I can make a long line of those commands. Okay. So I'm going to repeat it 19 times or 20 times. It's up to you how much bigger waterfall you want to make. And then let's move the builder to build that particular waterfall. So again, go to the builder and builder move forward. First by one. By one means it will move forward by one block. And then we are going to place a particular block. So go to the builder and take place. Select a rock block from here. Let's search for a good rock block. Bedrock. Okay, let's see this. And then we are going to turn our builder. So let's go to the builder again and then turn right. Since it is west side, and if I go move forward and then move forward by 19 times, it should turn to the right hand side to make another line. Okay, so I'm using right and then move forward by 1 again. And just builder turn right again. Okay, so this is how you can make a bedrock. Now is the time to make the water. So use the same idea. Go to the loops, take a repeat loop and repeat it 19 times first of all. Again, selecting anything of your choice. You can be as creative as you want. Now, first we have to place the water so that there is no space. I'll first place the water. And afterwards, I'll place the move forward command so that I can move forward after placing the water. Okay. And next up is, since it is in the different direction to the bedrock, I'll be using turn left. So just go to the builder and select turn left. Move forward by 1 and again turn left. Okay, I hope that this simple function is clear. Next is calling the function. So we'll simply call the function using our onchat command. So if in onchat you write build, the program will call the function. How do you call the function? Simply go to the function and write call waterfall. Now I want to call the waterfall only at some location. So I'll simply teleport my builder and the player of inside the Minecraft at that position. Now this position again is according to your creativity. You can select any position from the world. You can just write any coordinates, any random coordinates, and the builder or your player will go to that particular location. So it's not something that you should be worried about using the coordinates. Since we are selecting block of grass, there is no limitation. It's just a plain land and you can go to anywhere you want. Okay, so here teleport to. Now, where do I want to teleport? I want to teleport to my world. World means the block of grass. So I'll just search for a world block. And I'll write here the coordinates. Now my coordinates can be anything. Let's select -13. That means left hand side. Then 64. 64, that means a little bit top 64 position. OK. And 159. That means positive vertical direction. Then comes the builder. So we are going to teleport builder to. OK. We are going to teleport the builder. Again, we are teleporting inside the world. So we have to select here world. And write the same coordinates. So we'll write here -13 because we want them to be in the same location. OK, otherwise your player will keep on searching the waterfall. So we don't want that. So that's why we are keeping it in the same location. Now I hope that this is clear. Let's just run it and check. Actually, the activity is already running, so just give me a minute. We'll have to delete this one. OK, let's move somewhere and let's try making another one. OK, so I'll write here T and I'll write here build, enter, and you'll see another waterfall. So there are two waterfalls at a location. Since one already we made on the world, so that's why we are not able to get only one. So we already have two and we have made two waterfalls in the same world. We can go on the top. So to fly up, just press space and keep on pressing the space bar. OK. You see your waterfall? Now let's make few changes in the function and let's see whether it changes or not. OK, so I'm going to change few things inside. Instead of repeating it for 4 times, let's repeat it for 6 times. And instead of 19, let's repeat it for 24. Maybe let's try it. Again, and let's run. So open the chat box by pressing T, write here build and run. Give it some time. OK. OK, now do you see? It makes an even bigger waterfall. So you have to just give it some time to load the changes that we made. And now it created a lane of 6. Can you see over here? Created a lane of 6. That means you make a changes in a function. Now you do not have to change anything in your program. You just change it inside the function. And whenever and wherever you're calling that function, it will perform the same task. OK, so that means it makes our coding easier. You just need to do it in one place. And for all the places, for all the other places in your program, it's going to be the same. OK, so I hope that this activity is very much clear. Now let's see some other basics of functions. OK. So what are the advantages of using a function? It increases the readability and code reusability, right? What is readability? That means by making code organized and easy to understand. Like we did over here, we created a particular function. Now it was easier for us to understand what is happening inside my program, right? Instead of that, if we are continuously making a few things, if I'm doing few things inside my function or inside my program, it won't be that much easier for everybody to understand. So it increases the readability of your code. That means it simplifies your code language. And then it increases the code reusability. Like you saw, I used the same function and I was calling it after the onchat command. Maybe I can call it on start command, right? Just when the program starts, it would start to make the waterfall. So it can do any number of things just by reusing the command itself. So the advantages of a function is it increases the reusability of your code as well. Okay. Now, what are parameters and return types? So we learned already. Parameters are like some values. So variables accepted by a function to perform a set of actions defined in its bodies are called function parameters. That means, like I told you, parameter is a variable or a value that you're giving to the function so that the function's behavior can be manipulated, right? So if I write here 5, it changes into 5. The whole function will work for the number 5, right? So some variables that a function can accept, those variables are called parameters. And what is a return type? Type of value returned by a function. Like we saw, how we can return a number on the screen. So if I want to return something from the function, I can use return types. Okay. And whenever you're defining the function, it should always begin with the word or the keyword called function. Okay. So here, let's see one example. Function to calculate area of a circle. Now, if I'm calculating area of the circle, my return type is float. Now, what is a float? It will take even the decimal values. And then I'm writing the function name, that is area of the circle. And then int radius, that means integer type, it is radius. Okay, so radius should be in the integer form. For example, it can be 5, 6, any integer you can put. So this is a parameter that I'm giving inside my function, and float is the return type of that function. And inside that I've written the logic. My logic of the function should always be inside my curly brackets, and parameters are inside the parenthesis. You have to keep these conventions and syntaxes on your tips. So the logic is written inside the curly brackets. Parameters or attributes are written inside the round brackets or the parenthesis, and then simply write the return type or your function name. So this is about the parameters and return types. Next is functions called within another function. Now you can make functions inside which you can call another function. Okay. For example, suppose I've given int area of square and we're just giving int side, that means integer side. I'm just giving a number of the square side, and then I'm returning the area of the square. So what is the area of the square? Side multiplied by side, right? So I'm returning the area of the square simply by giving the formula, and then I'm giving int perimeter of the square, and again I've written the int side and return 4 multiplied by side. So I'm just returning the formulas. Now another thing is when we are calling functions within another function, that means int sum of area and parameter of square is return area of square and perimeter of the square. Can you see here? Now we are calling two functions inside another function. So this is how you can even use a function inside another function. Okay. So you can do some of the activities, for example, calculating square of a number. So let's let's develop a pseudocode of calculating square of a number. So first is in the step 1, first you declare the function and give it a name relevant to the action you want to do. That means you should follow some conventions while you are defining your function name. Okay. So for example, we can write square of a number as our function name. Then we have to include the parameters, which are values you send to the function. Now, what are parameters? Again, it should be the values are the variables. So if I'm calculating square of a number, I should get some numbers. So my parameters will be num1, num2 like this. Okay, so I can write here num1. And then inside the body of the function, you'll be writing your logic. Now, what is the logic of getting a square of a number? The actual code inside the function. In this case, it is multiplying a value by itself. So suppose in num1, I'm getting 2. So 2 should be multiplied by 2. So in my logic, what I'll be writing? Num1 multiplied by num1 itself. Okay. And then return the value. So if you're returning the value, simply write return num1 multiplied by num1 like we saw already. So here, if I show you this example, if I change the same thing, I write here int square of a number, int num, and return num1 multiplied by num1, or whatever name or whatever variable you have given. Okay. And then call the function from your main code. So my function, how do I call the function? Simply by using the name. So I can use here square of a number as my name. So yeah, so this was about one example of calculating square of a number. Next is joining two strings in an order. Again, when you're joining two strings, that means the parameter should be string over here. Okay, string means any sentence, a combination of letters or alphabets. So it is a string. So it can be, hello, and the first string can be hello, next string can be John or any other name. Okay, so you can join these two things together just by using the function itself. So just declare the function and you can name it anything. Like here we have seen add two strings. Then we can include the parameters, that means string 1, string 2. And then in the body of the function, what you're going to write? Return string 1 plus string 2. Here, plus sign is used as a joining block, and this method is called concatenation. Okay, so that once you join two things using the plus sign, if you join 2 plus 2, if you're using concatenation method, it will be 22, not 4. So for joining a block, we use a plus sign here in coding. Okay. Next is returning the value. Again, how do you return it? Use the return keyword and write string 1 plus string 2 and then call your function. So I hope that these things are clear. Now you can try some other examples like drawing a square, calculating average of the class. And if there is any query, please reach out to us on the chat box or on the email ID given over here. Thank you so much. And if there is any doubt, please let us know. Hello, sir. Now you can carry forward the session.
Yeah, if any questions are there, we'll just take them. We have about 5 minutes left. So, like I said, I think there were a lot of questions yesterday on and today also we continue to get questions on the redeem codes. I put the redeem code of yesterday on the we've explained I'm just taking some questions that are there already on the list. Just give me a second, please. I'm just seeing if there are any questions related to the subject. 1 second, please, and then we'll get to the other aspects. While we wait, I'm just putting up the redeem code today's session. And I have also pasted the feedback form for you. I'm just trying to go through some of the questions that we could answer now. Just give me a second, please. Okay. I think most of the questions seem to be centered around again the redeem voucher. Please note that I have shared the methodology for redeeming your codes yesterday, and it does not take much time for you to access the page and get your certificate. Like I said, please bear. Sometimes it does take a day or two. It is not necessary that you'll get the certificate immediately. OK, there is sometimes a process that the certification or the badge goes through. For whatever reason, it can take time. OK, then a lot of people have commented that they did not get their certificates, but please bear, you will get them. OK, and please go try the redeem certificate today also, you will get it. A lot of questions have come about the previous day's session, that is section A. Like I said, we may not be able to help because it's a different speaker done differently, so we may not have control on those sessions or provide the details of the redeem codes or the feedback forms from those sessions. Whatever started on the 19th onwards, we are conducting it, so we have full access and we can help you. With respect to, like I said, if you have any other questions or technical questions, please do. I can't sign into Minecraft. So one is if you do not have access or do not have a O365 license in your campus, most likely you will not be able to use it. You need to have a access privilege for Minecraft. OK, and
Sir, I see some of the teachers saying, please give us steps to implement this curriculum in schools.
Yeah,
So maybe we can, yeah.
Yeah, they can write to us. One is if you're looking for support from a teacher training program, which will be paid, or if you're looking at us conducting the trainings for your students, you can please write to us. You have our email ID. We'll be more than happy to help you. Any program, not only this, but there are other programs also, all the way from block code, make code to AI ML for school children. We'll be able to provide some support for you and help you with that. So including Microsoft certification tracks. Yeah. So I think there is a teacher who has asked, we teachers know the basics of coding, but still want to explore the software. Only after exploring the software, we'll be able to suggest to a management to implement the same. We need at least trial version. OK, so this is something that is beyond the scope of us. We will not be able to help. We will pass on this message to Microsoft. But as far as I know, there is no concept of trial versions available. So that's something that we will not be able to help you with. Unfortunately, they expect either as educators or you have the license which you'll have to provide to access Minecraft.
So trials they can get 25 trials as a teacher, but the condition is that they should have the Office 365 account.
That's exactly
like most of the schools are having it. So maybe they can use their institution's account for that.
Yeah, you need to please check first of all if you have the O365 license. If you have it, then you will get access. But a lot of schools do not have these. So if they do not, then it will be difficult for you. Can we get recordings of the sessions? Yes, you can. We will make them available to you on the last day. And then you'll be able to access all the recordings. Is Arcade and Microbit different? Yes, Arcade is for building games because it's a physical device. Arcade is basically a game controller or it's basically a remote. Yeah, it's your handheld device that you use for controlling games. So it's basically a console. OK, Arcade is you can build two-dimensional games using Arcade, and the remote controls are typically like the console. Microbit also uses MakeCode as a platform, but Microbit is a 8-bit computer, which is a physical device also, similar like the arcade, but it is an emulator that you see on the screen based on which you can drive and display outcomes. Okay, so that's what it is. So the baseline coding language, MakeCode, remains the same, whether it is for MakeCode, Minecraft, or for arcade. Yesterday's redeem code will work. There is no way that somebody said that yesterday's redeem code is not working. Please check. You must be using the wrong redeem code. Yeah. All right. So we are running out of time. I think the teachers have other sessions starting at 4 o'clock. So we won't keep you for longer than that. Thank you all. Please do not hesitate to give us feedback so that we'll take your feedback and make it the tomorrow session even better. And we will take your inputs into consideration and make it even more interactive. I think a lot of feedback has come that you want to see more examples. So the tomorrow will make efforts to actually make it a little more example driven, and we'll start from scratch if required so that you all will follow. I know there is a wide spectrum of teachers, but we will try to accommodate everybody from those who are already well versed to those who are entry level. Yeah, so thank you very much for your time today and attending this session. We appreciate it. We'll look forward to meeting you all tomorrow. Thank you.